Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the program. Okay, we got a lot to talk about today. Stocks are crashing across the board. There's a lot of reasons for this, and we're going to talk about that. So let's go ahead and start with the SPY, which we're looking at here, which is an ETF of the S&P 500. You can see, here's right here, this line, here's the beginning of the new year. We reached a high of 609, and now we're pulling back. We fell below support, which was 585. We fell below support at the very beginning of the year, right here. Okay. First day of the year, we're out and below support, came up. Now we're below support even further. So we're on a downtrend. There's no doubt about that. In fact, we'll go ahead and draw a quick little line here. I would say we got a little bit of a, I didn't want to do that. Wrong one. So here, we're going to make this little line here. We're going to see if this downtrend continues. Okay. So stocks are selling off. Oil is going up. Let's talk about the reasons for the stock market crashing. But before we get into that, we have a goal of 100 subscribers. Please subscribe to the channel. Smash the like button. It helps get the channel out there. And I would also like to thank our most recent subscribers. Again, we have a goal of 100 subscribers. So thank you for your previous subscriptions. So let's get into it and talk about the drivers behind why the market's selling off. Okay, we have some obvious things going on here. The 10-year yield has spiked to 4.77. It was around 4.65, 4.6, and it spiked up, and that's not good. And then we have the relative strength of the US dollar, which has spiked up to 109.64. And again, between the US relative strength of the US dollar and the 10-year yield spiking, that is driving the markets down. If this continues, expect bigger downfalls. Okay, right now, again, that US 10-year yield treasury note is 4.769. That is pretty low. We haven't been there in like a year. Okay, so that's pretty serious. That's what's driving this market down. And you have to consider there's profit taking from the most recent bull run that we had, which was a major bull run. I think the SPY ended up like 20%, 25%. Same with QQQ, the NASDAQ. So we have to keep a close eye on that 10-year yield and the relative strength of the dollar. If they both go up, stocks are going to continue crashing, and they're going to crash hard. So there's the SPY. Let's look at the QQQ representing the NASDAQ. And we are, again, coming down. Looks similar to the, actually a little worse than the SPY. This was an area of support we were hoping at 515. It has now tried to touch 502. So we're below support, which again 515. Can we hold 502? We don't know. We're going to have to see. But again, if these 10-year yield keeps going up, we're coming down to 484. So we're going to have to keep a close eye on that. This is very serious here. A lot of things are going on. The Central European banks are the ones in charge. They're in control. They can, but nevertheless, there's a big debt sell-off in the 10-year yield, and that's what's really driving these markets. Let's take a look at what's classified as the Magnificent Seven and see how they're doing. Okay, here we have Apple. It did reach a high right before the end of the year of 260. And they had an uptrend here, which is this green line. We'll make it a little bit more bold for you guys. Okay. Right here, we had that uptrend. But right now, we fell below that uptrend, and we're barely holding support here at 237 for Apple. You see the bottom tail here will show that there was some buyers that pushed it back up. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Apple as coming down. Now Microsoft was in this up channel here, which we see. Then they fell out. and then had a nice big rally right before the end of the year, made it to the bottom of the up channel, and then completely rejected. And now we're down touching the 200-day, we're testing the 200-day moving average here, which is 417. And we closed today at 418. So Microsoft is coming down. Again, these stocks, well, they didn't rally as good as some of the others, but nevertheless, it's coming down. Google. All right, Google didn't do so bad. They're kind of holding up. Again, it spiked up right before the end of the year. These CEOs, they all get their bonuses on their year-end stock price. So they made more than they've ever had at the end of this year, okay, in bonuses. So after the new year, Google has tried to reach 202, which was its high, and has been rejected. And what we're going to, I just want to get rid of that there, do not show. So Google is showing steady, it's holding the 20-day moving average, 50-day moving averages here, 200-day moving averages here. Okay, Amazon. Amazon did really good towards the end of the year, okay, at 233. They dropped off a little bit around the 20-day moving average. And right here was the new year. They went up a little bit, now they're pulling back. And it looks as trying to test the 50-day moving average. Bounced off the support range here of 215.90. Okay, so that was, these lines were drawn a long time ago. It's very interesting to see how nice these technical analysis hold up. Meta. Okay, Meta, they are pulling back slightly again. At the year end, they did close down a little bit. They finished off at the 50-day moving average. Impressively enough, it spiked up at the beginning of the year. But right now, we show some indecision on today's activity. Okay, when you have a topping tail and a bottom tail like that, with just a little bit in the middle, that shows indecision. So we'll have to keep a close eye on Meta. Now NVIDIA, let me enlarge this for you so you can see it. There we go. NVIDIA, not bad. Their all-time high was 149.77. Actually, it's now up here, basically at 153, which was right around where this candle had closed. It tried to compete with that, and it found resistance. And now it's selling off below the 20-day moving average, 50-day moving average. We were thinking it was going to hold support here at 137. No, it did not. So I see it coming down to 131 and maybe 127 if we can hold this area here. If not, it's going to be 116, which is down here at the 200-day moving average. That's for NVIDIA. So quite a bit of selling going on here. All right, quite a bit of selling. And now let's take a look at oil. Oil has been spiking. Okay, the WTI is up to $76.57 per barrel. That's impressive. It did come down to, it was testing ranges of around $66. So it just jumped up $10 to $76 a barrel. So with crude spiking, commodities, it's good, and the 10-year yield going up, the relative strength of the dollar going up, and crude oil going up. That's a setup for the markets to crash even further. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. So let's go to Oxy here. Okay, Oxy. Here's the year end. They, again, they fell down. They've been coming down because, again, we reached numbers of $66 a barrel. So Oxy came down to $45. Was able to close the year at 49. 56 traditionally was its all-time support, but now that looks like resistance. Today was a nice red day. It came down, I guess, with some profit takings. People buying it down here around 45, 46 bucks. Started reaching $50, $51, or taking profits. So we have a sell-off here. It's almost a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders, slightly. Here's the body, the shoulder, the head, the shoulder. Now here's the body. So this looks like an inverse head and shoulders, which is interesting. But nevertheless, there was a sell-off today. Now let's take it. How some other things taking a look at. Palantir, by the way, PLTR, which is an AI-related software-driven company. They are selling off, but they had a ridiculous up bull run here. Okay, it was just going straight up. I mean, we're over here, $24, went to $84. Closed the end of the year at around 77. Pretty impressive. You would suspect some profit taking, especially since those profits, they don't have to pay taxes until the next year. Okay, because they take the profits today or this year in 25, and they got a whole year before they have to send money to the IRS. So Palantir has been coming down. Quite interesting. Now ARM, which is also another software-driven company, look how nice it's holding in this channel that we made. Okay, it did have an all-time high of 188. Let's go remove that there. So that was interesting how these technical lines work so well. So right now ARM is holding up. It's staying in there. It's not bad. Let's take a look at Intel. Intel has been hurting. They had that little bull run, okay, right before the end of the year. Where was it? Here we go. Let's make this bigger. Here we go. Intel. They had a bull run, came up, and now it's just selling all the way back down. Can it hold 1848 as support? We'll see. That was the all-time low, and it's did come down to about 1891. So it's interesting to see. Are we going to hold this support? We'll see. I mean, their earnings are bad. Their outlook looks bad. So you can see here, they're not. Their estimate was 20 cents a share, negative 20 cents. They were negative 46 cents. So that's not too good. The MMO. Okay. What else have we got here to talk about? Banks. See how's Wells, JP Morgan. Where are they at here? JP Morgan. They did really good before the end of the year. They reached a high of 254, ended the year at around 239, and they kind of been staying in that range right now. Okay, so that's interesting. Is there anything else we could take a look at? Well, yes, Tesla. That was part of the Magnificent Seven. We did not look at that. Tesla, again, we had that major bull run here. Right after the presidential election, Tesla shot up like 100% to 488. It has been selling off. Look at the MACD here. It's turning around, it's going down. So that shows that we're still in a downtrend. But nevertheless, before they ended the year at 402, right here at this support line here, well, we were hoping support was going to be 414. It didn't. It made it to this. Next area of concern was 384, which it's bounced off of today. Okay, and if I had to draw another little technical line, I would have to say it's going to be right here where there was some consolidation going on here. So we're going to go ahead and put a line there. In fact, we're going to move it up a little bit. I think it's going to be more right around, let's touch as many candles as possible. It's going to be around 348. So right now we're holding 384. But if she continues to come down, we got 348 and 300 and so on. So, but Tesla, congratulations. There's a lot of people made a lot of money on that short run here. That was pretty impressive. So that's it right now, guys, for the markets. We'll go back to the SPY here. We are in a major downturn, but the truth is we need a correction. A 10% correction would be healthy. Okay? So we're going to have to see where that's going to lay here. Let's take a quick look at how far down a 10% correction would be from the all-time highs. And that's going to be about 548. Okay? So I definitely could see this area of 542.96 to be a concern. I'm going to make this green because that's about 11% correction here. And we'll write on here too, correction. Correction. And we'll show that there on the right. So correction is to about 542, 548. We'll have to see, but that's from an all-time highs. Okay, but if we do a correction from the new year, so yeah, we're looking at 540-ish. In fact, we're gonna lower that. I should probably stay right there. So that's where we are right now, ladies and gentlemen. The stock market is selling off. The 10-year yield's rising. There's a lot of uncertainty going on. There's been rumors that there might be some more escalation in war in the Middle East. Trump wants to take over the Panama Canal with military force. He wants to rename the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. And he also would like to make Canada a U.S. state. And he also would like to buy Greenland. So there's some crazy things going on here. And we're just going to have to see what happens. So that's it for now. I appreciate you guys watching. And have a great weekend.